So you feel it, I feel it, we all feel it. So let's talk about handling insecurity about your asexuality. So why are we all so insecure? I mean, are we all just super fragile? Are we all just complete hot messes? No. So there are a lot of really good reasons why asexual people would feel insecurity about their sexuality. And a good way to begin managing that insecurity is to understand where that insecurity comes from. So where does it come from? So the world sends us a lot of messages every day about the kinds of behaviors, identities, aesthetics, and values that are acceptable to be in the world. And I mean every day. The messages are everywhere. And it's not just messages through our media. It's in the laws that are made. It's in the culture at your office, at work. It's in the interpersonal dynamics of the people in your neighborhood. It's everywhere. And because as individuals, we are internalizing these messages all the time, we even inflict them on other people, the people who are closest to us. We're receiving all day, every day, messages about what is right to be and what is right to feel. So for most people, because most people conform to these messages, the world becomes a mirror. And the mirror reflects who they are on a daily basis. So every day, you're seeing yourself reflected by the world. And when that happens, that can feel really empowering. When what you see in the reflection of the world affirms who you are, you feel really validated. You feel right. But for ace folks, and honestly, everyone who exists inside a marginalized identity, the world doesn't reflect who and what we are. All we really see is what we aren't, what the world thinks we should be, what we cannot be. And so the world for us becomes more like a funhouse mirror, where our reflection is distorted, twisted. The mirror of the world shows us who and what we are as broken, messed up. And when that's what you see in the reflection of the world, you feel diminished. You lose power. You feel wrong. And that's where our insecurities come from. They come from living in a world that every day sends us messages that who and what we are is wrong. It doesn't come from a failing in you. It comes from a failing in the world. So what do we do about it? Walk with it. So one of my favorite pieces of advice ever came from a drag queen. So I was 18 years old and I went to my very first gay bar ever in my small hometown in Louisiana. And in this gay bar that I went to, there were only two other people in the whole place other than me. There was the bartender and this drag queen sitting at the end of the bar. So for my first night in a gay bar, I hung out with this drag queen. Her name was Paul. I mean, she was the kind of drag queen that didn't even have a drag name. She was just Paul. And Paul talked to me all night and was actually very encouraging and let me express all of my fears about coming out and being who I was. Paul listened to me talk about being afraid of being rejected by people, by being disowned by my family, of being alone for the rest of my life because I'd never find anyone who would love me. So Paul told me that I was giving my fears too much power. So what Paul told me was, we all have fears. And if we fight our fears all the time, we're really just encouraging our fears to grow. If you fight against them, they wear you out. They get you angry. They frustrate you. So the more you push against them, the bigger they get. But if you choose to walk with your fears instead, something different happens. Paul told me that if you really want to handle your fears, you walk with them. You take their hand and you walk with them. You tell them, hey, I know you're there. I understand what you're saying. I know what you're here for. But I've got something else to do. I've got places to be. I've got someone to be. So we're going to walk together and I'm going to walk you right out the door. And that's what we have to do as ace folks. The world is going to tell us that we're wrong every single day. That's a given. Other people are going to tell us that we're wrong, maybe every day. That's also a given. We don't have to believe it. It's okay to experience insecurity when the world is designed that way. So you know what? Just experience your insecurity, but keep walking. You've got places to go. You've got someone to be. You've got important things to do in the world. So don't let your insecurities keep you from walking ahead, stepping forward into whatever is next. Just keep walking. Make something with it. So I still experience insecurity about my asexuality all the time. I am insecure anytime I have to come out to someone. I'm afraid that they're going to reject me or humiliate me or make me feel small. I am insecure that my relationship with my husband or my partner might fall apart because they'll find somebody who is better or more interesting or more compatible than I am. I still, all the time, feel deep insecurities about being who I am. One way that I handle those insecurities is by making these videos for my YouTube channel, writing pieces or tweeting about asexuality, making videos on my TikTok channel for people to make them feel better. I turn my insecurities into something. I mean, it's even a more active way of walking with them than just walking. It's like actually putting them to use and making them do something. Now, I'm not saying that you have to become a content creator or an ace activist or an ace writer. I mean, if you want to and can, absolutely do. We need more of you. Join the community, please. But you can, with your own agency and your own power, turn your insecurities into something good. So, use whatever your gifts and talents are, because honestly, the best weapon you have against insecurity are the things that you can do and the things you are that really make you shine and make something beautiful or funny or confrontational or real, authentic or true. Now, you can share that stuff with the world, or you can keep it to yourself. You can give it to one person to look at, or you can put it on the internet for millions of people to maybe check out. It doesn't really matter what you do with the thing. What matters is the making. Because the negative messages that the world sends to us about who we are, those messages are designed to take stuff away from us. So that's why it's important that we make things with our insecurity. We need to replace what the negative messages take away. We need to put into the world what the negative messages take out of it. We add where the world subtracts. And honestly, queer people have been doing this forever, turning their insecurity and their pain into something beautiful. Turning the world's subtraction into some fabulous addition. And you can do that too. Is it really that easy? No, not at all. It's not easy at all. It's hard to walk with your insecurities. It's hard to turn your insecurities into something, to make something out of them. But I think it's even harder to live in the shadow of your insecurity. So you don't have to get it right away. Overcoming your insecurities about your asexuality isn't going to be like flipping a switch. It's not going to be one and done. It's a process. And every day is an opportunity to take one more step in the right direction. If you don't quite make it today, you try again tomorrow. If you don't quite make it tomorrow, you try again the next day. But the important thing is that you keep trying. So we all experience insecurity about our asexuality. It's just how the world is designed. But our insecurities don't have to determine how we live. They don't have to determine how our asexuality lives and breathes and blossoms in the world. We can decide how that happens. So whether you walk with it or make something out of it or find some completely unique to you way of handling your insecurities, as long as you are trying to push them aside and let yourself step forward, you're on the right path. Go,